Star Trek: The Next Generation was a show. Everybody I interacted with. A show that I started watching when I was a really little kid. Can you believe it's been 30 years? Star Trek: The Next Generation first.
Star Trek: The Next Generation was my life.
I really grew up with this show.
My relationship to how I should conduct myself. It was the escape from reality. Welcome to Next Generation's First Generation, where Patrick Delmore and Sasha Shouties take a look back into their favorite childhood show, Star Trek: The Next Generation. This is where we attempt to reconcile how we felt as children watching the show and looking back as old farts now in our late 30s, almost 40s. Guests, social commentary, and good old-fashioned shade-throwing on our favorite and least favorite episodes. Here comes Patrick and Sasha. Oh, I almost forgot. This is a watch-along podcast, so make sure to queue up your favorite DVD or Netflix, and we'll give you the countdown of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to basically watch along with the episode.
Hello, and welcome to the second episode of the second season of Next Generation's First Generation, a Star Trek commentary podcast. I am one of your hosts, Patrick Delmore, and with me is your other host.
Hello!
Sasha Shouties.
That'd be me.
And we got a first-timer on the show tonight. David is here with us. Say hello, David.
Hey.
Not to be confused with the other David.
Yes.
And maybe if we're lucky, we'll get a third David.
It could happen.
And we'll have David cubed, and we'll bring him in on the Borg episode. And oh my gosh! Oh, alright, that's overthinking it. So, what are we watching today, Pat?
We are watching Where Silence Has Lease. And we've got it paused at 1 second on the DVD, where we're looking at the Enterprise flying towards us. And let's get started with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and play.
No music.
Nope, just
Quiet
the ambient
intro.
space sound.
Yeah.
Here's the captain.
Everything okay? Gonna go back in? No, maybe not. I guess I'll talk to somebody.
It's like you ran out of books in there or something.
Troy's concerned.
You know, for as much reading that this character claims to do, we don't see any bookshelves.
Card maneuver.
Yeah. Oh, pulling down the shirt. Yeah.
With reason. About Worf or Commander Riker?
So they're worried about something.
Both. I think it is perhaps best to be ignorant of certain elements of Kling's psyche.
So this is a weird episode for Worf. And they spent a long time correcting this. So Worf and Riker are together here on this mission that's going to turn out into the holodeck. This is the famous calisthenics program that Worf has.
Mm-hmm.
But at this time, what it did was, instead of being a calisthenics workout, it basically drove him into a fiendish bloodlust.
Almost as if to say Klingons
So the idea
need to satisfy their bloodlust.
Yeah.
And his outlet is on this program.
Riker has come with him, and he's basically like a tiger trainer walking in wearing a suit made out of raw meat.
Oh, he's got a red shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got the beard. That's right. I keep forgetting about this.
I can hide behind that.
Everyone in the room is wearing a beard, and everyone on the television is wearing a beard. I'm okay with
We're
this.
a beardy group.
Does Worf actually have a beard?
Yeah, he does. It's like a goatee.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's always had that goatee.
I think you're right. I just couldn't picture it when I was thinking
He
about
used to be he was in a red uniform last season, and now he is in a yellow uniform.
It's like a 80s version of PUBG.
Yeah, it's very much to fight this turtle monster. All the guys in this this calisthenics program are great. And you don't ever see them outside of the calisthenics program.
I mean, this guy looks like a Goomba trainer.
Yeah.
And
Skeletor.
I never understood this guy. Watching this as a kid, I'm like, they're foam suits. They could do better.
No, I was a little guy, and this was like my first watched by myself episode. Just getting prepped, so I'm just there by the TV, absorbing images.
How old were you in this?
6 years old.
6. Okay, I was just to turn 9 when this came out.
Little kindergarten Patrick.
Wow.
And I was definitely a He-Man kid at that time, so that's what this guy Worf's fighting made me think of. It looks very much like a He-Man action figure, or one of the bad guys from He-Man.
That was legit. That was a legit move.
Yeah. Oh, stepping on the back of his knee.
Yeah, take the knee out. Yeah.
Now he's got this crazy axe.
I want to kill more.
It's like the end of Streets of Rage when you get to choose to fight your partner instead of the final boss. I'm impressed with how much dust they have in this holodeck program. Like when he was programming, he was like, "No more dust, make it dirtier."
I'm glad they got away from the Klingons or animals.
Yeah, well, the whole rest of this show is always Worf making a hasty decision and being reprimanded in front of the entire rest of the crew. Carried over to Deep Space Nine, too.
Well, it's funny because in Deep Space Nine, Worf kind of held the candle of virtue of what a Klingon should be.
Yeah.
Usually my calisthenics are more intense.
How does he take that glove off
Those
without
sessions are
cutting his
perfect
hand to
to be
shreds?
shared.
He does.
I'll bet they are.
Bet they are, mister.
Computer.
That's how you can tell if we're officially pissed at you. He didn't say it this time, so Worf's okay. If he'd been like, I bet they are, mister. Worf would have been like, oh, I'm screwed.
I always wondered why the dirt remained on the uniforms after the holodeck went away. Like, wait a
That's
minute.
fair. You could argue that some of it's actually replicated material.
That's true.
Well, that was the
Extra
original.
effect.
That was the actual comment that they made. Like, there was a replicator involved with the transporter. So, like, the water you drank was real water.
Space.
That is not a replicated Pepsi you were drinking.
No.
These are the
Got myself a beer.
Starship Enterprise.
So, as we said before, this is episode 2, season 2, directed by Winrich Kolbe. It's a cool name. Jack Swords wrote it. This is our big fan, fanboy music, Ron Jones. I love Ron Jones.
And it's a spooky episode.
Uh-huh. In fact, I think this is one of those many episodes where we get to talk about, should we blow up the ship to save it?
Yes.
Which I never understood. Okay, so anyway, this came out November 28th, 1988, so my guess is that you have a fairly good amount of food left in your fridge and you're just trying to eat it down left over from Thanksgiving.
It's gonna be the best weekend of Grandma's ever. Pumpkin pie and a new episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh.
Heavily featuring the Klingon character, Mr. Worf. Sorry, because I know somebody had that weekend, and I don't want to diminish that.
So, Nagilum, spelled backwards, is
Captain's logs.
Mulligan.
2193.
Oh my god,
For
I did
reals?
not realize that.
Yeah.
Oh.
That I just want to punch this episode in the face.
I think they should
Manned Federation
replace the name Mulligan with
We are
Gil
using the
now. I
time
think
to
it's just
further
really bad.
detail the charts of this region.
It is again, sir. Area
There's a lot of out of character acting in this, especially from Jordy pretty soon.
What's up with Picard just leaning over like that?
Wow.
That's
Well,
for the-
well,
for the
Riker's
shot.
pretty much humping Data's shoulder.
Yeah, no, it's the I don't know if you'd name it the Riker maneuver, but
He has to do it with Data so that it's not unusual when he does it when there's a female
I
involved.
can't see anything.
I was really impressed with the shots that they do
I
in
can
this
try.
cinematography.
Section 2.
And they play around with them too.
Because I mean, it's a square. There's like no room.
I love this. The cursor on the.
like a hole in space.
Now, we're acquainted with the world.
Well, I think what helps is that the
Space
it's a
quite-
round set, so no matter where the camera is, you don't feel like you're in the corner.
Mm.
Mr. Data, you must mean that it's empty of matter. There's always some energy form at work.
Sir, our sensors are showing this to be the absence of everything.
The
It was
absence
void
of
without
everything.
matter or energy of any kind.
Void.
Yet this hole has a form, David. Has height, width, perhaps. Perhaps not.
They
It's
can't handle
hardly a
it.
scientific observation. Come on.
Captain, the most elementary and valuable statement in science, the beginning of wisdom is, I do not know.
Good.
I do not know
Great
what
line.
that is, sir.
Baker with the eyebrow raised.
Captain, if this were any ordinary kind of hole in space, wouldn't we be able to see what's behind it?
Typical
Yeah.
teenager logic. Let's drive through it.
It's like, honestly, Wesley, I thought you were going to say you wanted to put something in it.
Is there any record of any
That's where the
All of a
Riker,
sudden-
the Riker smirk came from. Yeah, it's like you want to see. It's like not Wesley. He wants to see what the back end
There's
looks
no
like.
record of any Federation vessel encountering anything remotely like
All of a sudden, I'm reminded of this Family Guy
I
episode where
believe we have.
Peter drives a car inside and out of a tunnel repeatedly, over, back and forth, back and forth.
Just coordinates to intercept this,
Sounds about right.
whatever this is. Scanning and recording as we go.
Aye, sir. Adjusting course to intercept in Weldman.
Everybody looks so bored.
Yeah,
I know, right?
it's like they shouldn't be. It's a big hole full of nothing.
Well, traveling through space, I mean, it takes a long time even to warp.
Like somebody get in a spacesuit and throw a penny in there. See what happens.
Yeah, what happened to Spock getting in the jetpack and going for it?
when ready, Mr. Worf.
But that was, yeah.
Oh, matte painting. Look at that.
Ah, beautiful.
All the probe systems are functioning perfectly, sir.
Wonder why they chose to do a matte painting rather than a model.
It's gone.
Data, what happened?
Unknown, sir.
Recommend we go to yellow alert, sir.
Not now, Mr. Worf.
Why?
White shirt's yellow.
Explain.
Sorry, sir.
He's edgy.
This starship operator.
Oh, yeah, okay, we talked about that.
Share with me what's
We didn't
on
talk
the-
about it, but he's about to talk about where...
My thoughts were of an old Klingon legend.
Where Klingons are afraid of nothingness
Yeah.
and space, and it's kind of, he's pulling on that cultural story.
Sorry, Commander.
But Klingons are also afraid of
These
tribbles,
are
too.
thoughts
So.
hardly worthy.
No, Tribbles are afraid of
Security
Klingons.
officer.
What?
Yeah.
Mr. Worf,
Remember, they're all like, "Ree!" and like,
launch another probe.
Yeah, but they...
Klingons can't stand to be around them. And apparently they destroyed their homeworld.
Launching, sir.
that's right.
Or something, yeah.
Which just sounds funny. That would have been out of a book.
So there's a model that time. Second probe, and it's gone.
Happened even more.
Riker with his thumbs hitched up into his
Acting on 10.
Yeah.
I really want to see him sniff his hand.
I could move in closer.
Make it so, Mr. Crusher. Thrusters only. Mr. Data.
Still no readings of any kind, sir.
Number one.
Life forms.
I'm gonna go Worf on this.
Those little life forms. That was from...
Generation.
Generations,
Alright.
yeah.
That's enough, Ensign. Come to full stop and hold these forward.
So, the day we're recording this, and it's Patrick Stewart's birthday, he's 78.
Yeah, it's actually July
In the
I guess
real
the
world.
real world. Yeah.
So
You'll be listening to this after November of 2018.
It's going to live in a digital
Oop.
crypt for months. Oh, they became enveloped.
What's that?
Those close-ups with eyes.
Data.
Whatever it is, sir. We seem to be inside it.
Oh my
Enveloped us.
gosh.
It moved. All stations report.
No response, Captain.
That's true.
And they're still bored. But
Yeah, they're still
they-
bored.
That looks.
The ship at night?
Yeah.
Captain
It's
Lawrence
so dark that they have to
find
put in
spores
blue
strange
to show how dark it
space
is.
Without any form of matter or energy, we have apparently moved past its outer boundary and entered it. After a brief disruption, our ship's
Now, if this was
communications have returned to
Q,
normal.
in the first episode, he would have sent out a text message to all stations to prepare for maximum warp and emergency saucer separation. And
Well, they could have easily rewritten, written a fan fiction later on to have this be Q.
About the time when
You know, honestly, I think that if you know the story of Nagilum, it would make more sense that Nagilum was a Q, because he's kind of curious, a little dangerous, exploring life and death.
Crews threatened to hang their captain.
But he's confined to a single... Well, I guess I don't know. We don't know where he exists, I guess. But it seemed like he was more of a point.
See what Memory Alpha has to say about the continuance of
We have no
Nagilum.
communications outside of the
Alright, let
And
me fire up the dial-up modem here.
Kapong, kapong.
Hello, Doctor.
Yeah.
Now here's some good social commentary. Check this
I
out.
heard, but I don't understand it, Captain.
So,
I could say I did.
Doctor is going to seriously, I don't know what the specific term is, but devalue
By 100.
Data again by calling Data it.
Isn't this impossible, sir?
It's kind of like one of her
I'm
main
not
character
vigilant.
traits
Yeah.
is that she doesn't think he's a person.
But it's a great comparison to
Increase
now
by
where you
1,000,
have
Mr. Head.
people who have gender pronouns that older folk like Dr. Pulaski are not used to and are really rude to them because they don't understand what's going on.
Does know
And you have to sit there and
Yeah.
wait for them to come around to figure it out. Well, that's one of the things. They could have made Pulaski a successful
working with non-living devices.
character to hate. Like, she could move the plot along of character development by being that antagonist.
Yes.
And Data could have really asserted his personality and saying, I am sentient, I have feelings, but he doesn't have feelings.
No.
And he's struggling with his sentience.
Yes, Captain. Wherever we are, it's
So,
no effect on him.
it's like it's a watered down...
Lieutenant. Data.
Well, it's a
Character.
classic problem with Star Trek, I think, especially looking back at it, where they'll introduce a concept,
This void
but then they won't go far enough to say, and yeah, actually all of this was totally wrong because of lots of reasons. They're just like, oh, it could be either way, and it's not really an equal thing.
Which is why there are as many fans on the right as there are on the left of Star
be
Trek.
another dimension in itself.
That's an interesting question.
So my dial-up 56K modem here is now opening up the Memory Alpha webpage.
Starfleet can send a science vessel back to investigate this further. Move us back out.
Good idea. They're like, it's too big of a problem for us. Send us
Reverse our
back.
direction, set a course for the Cornelian star system. Impulse power.
Aye, sir. Reversing direction. Course laid in.
Too bad they didn't think about that before they went in.
Well, no, it enveloped them. They were too close, and then it just hopped in. I think they stole that footage from the first episode, by the way. The ship turning and going to work.
Could have been.
And just so delayed it with the different background. Yeah. Makes sense.
They steal the Oort cloud from the Star Trek motion picture, too.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And they just always color it a different color.
You mean they use it in Next Generation?
I like that
Yeah.
pan down to Riker's hand.
And again in DS9 too. Well, he doesn't know where to put it. I mean,
Yeah.
They don't
Is
have
there any-
pockets. Yeah.
doesn't have pockets. He's used his armpits. He's already put his hands all over the shoulder of the helmsman and the console. He's like, where do I go next? I don't know. I've run out of things to touch.
Look at that. It gives him a bit of a Wild West feel because he's always the American boy character.
Is everything all right up there, Captain?
The engine's operating normally.
Yes, sir. Everything looks
There
fine
we
down
go.
I think so. I could throw a penny in there and see what happens.
Again, everybody sounds super bored.
Yeah.
I guess. I was just taking a nap.
So the only thing they really talk about is Nagilum's fascination with
Data, how far?
limited existence, so death. He was unfamiliar with that concept.
Yeah.
And he wanted to explore all the different ways to kill somebody. Now, I immediately think to Star Trek Discovery, where Mudd has that time travel device.
Yes.
And he goes on and he tries to come up with, I think he said something like there's 267 different ways to die in space. He was starting to get bored killing the captain over
Yeah.
and over and over again. Where was Nagilum then?
Well past the point at which we entered the void.
Way far out in unexplored space.
Yeah.
Captain, If we dropped a stationary beacon and traveled straight away from it, we would have a fixed point of reference to confirm speed and distance.
I remember being bored when I was a kid, watching this like, okay, we're just moving along.
It's like, okay,
The beacon is in place.
Star Trek ideas. The Enterprise gets stuck. And then what? No, that's the show. The Enterprise is stuck.
Pretty much.
No, but I mean on TV, something needs to happen.
Better increase the war too.
Aye, sir.
And then it starts building up.
This is the silence part, so the silence has Lease.
Yeah.
Captain,
Just for
we are receiving a signal
He's
from
got
dead
his
ahead.
hands in his armpits again, but his thumbs
Having
aren't
found the
sticking
door
out.
out of this.
It's no longer thumbs up. It's,
Maybe his thumbs are cold.
Identify.
I hear it's very cold in space.
Captain,
I don't want to shake his hand now.
RB.
How you doing? I'm like, I know where that's been.
We couldn't have, sir. I've shown us moving steadily away from that beacon.
Full stop. Hold this position again.
So, in any other Star Trek series, I think they would have shook out all of this within the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
We are...
Well, we got some cool stuff coming.
Possibly a vessel.
Have some answers at last. On screen.
They're establishing a slower movement.
Ship is
Pacing.
equipped with a cloaking device.
Oh, here we go. Action. Pay attention.
Shields up. Go to red alert.
I'll be at my duty station.
Main viewer locked onto coordinates. On the photon torpedo system. Hold for my orders.
there!
It's uncloaking.
Such a cool
So,
design.
yeah, I love the Romulan design.
It
However,
makes like mostly no sense.
the view screen is just that. It's a view screen if you can't pinpoint coordinates through via the
They
view
marked
screen.
another full spread, sir.
That's why they showed, when they were trying to show you exactly where that hole was, that little cursor thing came up. It's not a window at the front of the ship, although it is on Discovery for some reason. It's literally, it shows whatever the camera that works the view screen is pointing at.
Our sensors
Well, that's why they have Geordi go out to a
Yeah.
window and look outside, and with his electronic device, get a non-electronic device interpretation of what's going on.
That drove me bonkers when I watched this last week when Geordi is so happy they blew up the Romulan ship. That's not
It's not him.
Geordi at all, no.
The Yamato's nowhere near this clutter.
Oh, this is before the Yamato blew up.
Yeah.
That was a
USS
neat story.
Enterprise to USS Yamato.
Which one was that? Was that the conspiracy episode?
Uh,
That already happened.
No, yeah, that one already happened. It was
Respond, please, on this
the
frequency.
Encounter of Planet. It was the Iconian episode.
Oh, yes.
Ah, so they got
Yeah.
ahead of them. Ah, yeah.
On over on
Big full scan.
Two True Freaks, they just dropped the DS9 episode where they brought back the idea of the Iconians.
There are no life signs, sir.
That was an unusual
Then
episode
communicating a
too.
false reading.
And they originally, I guess, when they were making that episode,
At least
they had
conceivable, sir.
thought that the aliens from the last outpost were the Iconians, so they had to redesign everything overnight to make it look like Iconian stuff.
Oh no!
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that would make
now
sense.
number one, man. Just a man who's looking for answers.
Well,
Do you think they would have been more excited about the last outpost if it was an
I just went out of the
Iconian,
trap.
Captain, request permission to board onto the Yamato without wait. Perhaps something we can find on board.
Waity, nope, it's going to be you and Worf.
Minimal
You ever,
compromise.
you
It's going to
know,
be the buddy comedy of buddy comedies.
now in this situation, how would you
Excuse me.
how would you feel about beaming onto a ship that may or may not be there?
Captain's
That'd be
Oh.
scary, but I mean, it is showing up on sensors.
Trapped in the void. We have encountered a vessel which appears to be the USS Yamato. All its systems are shown as
I mean, they could take a shuttlecraft
devoid
over.
of life. Commander Riker
Yeah,
is
they were
leading
that
and awaiting.
concerned.
Hopefully the answer lies over there.
Hey, Miles O'Brien.
Another ship. I said no
I'm waiting for him to get a Funko
What do you
Pop.
say?
I'm acquainted
Yeah.
with the model, Commander.
Like they've got Star Trek Funkos, but there's not an O'Brien Funko yet.
Them who
I don't think he's named
Whoever may
yet.
be there.
Is he?
No.
Our sensors indicate no life forms.
Still, the tactic is sound.
Agreed.
So if we bend over, our phasers will just fall right out of our pockets.
Energize.
Yeah, they're wearing them on opposite hips.
They might be.
Well, maybe one's left-handed, the other one's right-handed.
It'd be Worf, if that's true.
Now, for some reason, I remember this and it being so cool.
I do too. I remember seeing this the first time.
It's like, it's the Enterprise, but it's another one!
Yeah.
That's so cool!
Well, to me, it was even more disturbing as a little 6-year-old kid, because it's like, again, I'm just reacting. You know, I don't have the this is another ship that's like the Enterprise. It's like now the Enterprise is empty for some reason. It was very, very spooky.
Yeah, they did a good job with the spooky.
And I like the bottom lighting too. So if you notice, they shipped everything from the top to the bottom.
It was a good way to reuse the set.
I heard a man scream. Well, I heard a woman scream, and I thought it was you. Ha 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 ha! Click on humor.
You heard me. I heard you.
What?
Transporter Chief, where do you show us over here?
Sound like the probe droid from Hoth.
Yeah.
Stand.
Transporter room, this is the captain. We're out of contact with the away team. Beam them back immediately.
Huh, Wesley's not at the helm anymore. That's interesting.
Nothing on my
You implying something?
I don't know.
computer on.
Maybe you want to do some research?
Yeah.
Is he rubbing out a solution?
I mean, they have to go to the bathroom at some point on this ship.
Transporter room, have you been able to establish a lock?
Well, the head is supposed to be opposite of the conference room entrance there on the bridge. So when they go walk up to the left to go to the conference room,
What is our
the
situation?
door opposite to that would be the bathroom.
The one next to the turbo lift?
No, so it's two doors facing each other
Oh.
in that little side room there.
It's funny. I always thought it was weird that they never showed bathrooms in Star Trek for the most part. I mean, they do the sonic shower occasionally in
Isn't the Federation ship?
Voyager.
Yeah.
Walls on Titanium.
And they've got the mirrors and the cabinets where they store everything, the hairbrushes.
How cool would it be if it was the three seashells? A nod to what was that movie?
I don't know.
Nope.
Oh, come on. Sylvester Stallone was frozen and he came back to be a cop to catch this other frozen criminal.
Demolition Man?
Yeah, I think that was it. That's a great movie.
I still have never seen it.
I haven't seen it, but that sounds awesome.
No, you guys would love it. It is classic cheese.
Well, I know it came out during the time
If we go through there,
this show was on, so
where
we
will
do
we
it as
be?
a short
On
leave
the
episode.
bridge.
But we are on the bridge.
Worf really freaks out here.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any sense because the character is much more developed than...
Yeah,
given
it's
to-
again, it's like what was... We talked about this in the episode where Wesley took the psych test at Starfleet Academy. Is what... I mean, Worf would have had a pretty rigorous psych test.
Is it the same bridge?
And...
Clearly he's a pretty put-together person.
Yeah.
One bridge.
But still, he was the first Klingon, so they would have done something special for him.
The token.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, I said at that time what I thought it would be he has to be on Kirk's Enterprise right after Kirk's son was killed.
We've regained ship's communication, sir.
Captain, I have a star fix.
On screen.
It's an opening, sir.
Oh no, this is like 10 other episodes in Voyager.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say they rehashed this a lot.
What was the line? They're gonna find a crack in they got out of a black hole because it was a fissure or a crack in what's the
Space-time continuum?
no, there's like
Subspace
the
barrier.
point where everything converges.
An event horizon.
Yes, they're like they found a crack in the event horizon to get out of the black hole.
Where did you come from?
So,
They actually did one where there was like a monster in space that was eating ships.
yeah, that was a good one.
Which always make like they straight up took that from the Worf moment. I feel like.
One wrecker, one bridge. Oh, show me your poop face. Oh. I'm not impressed with your misbehavior. It's a door.
You'd think they would make those doors open when there are people in them.
Right.
I mean, you know. It's not very kid safe. I'm gonna bite you.
Yeah, totally. I think he should have kissed him right there.
I know.
He was growling. He was aroused. He's like, ah.
That's my line.
Captain, the Starfix is fading.
Data, log onto your module with a tracking device. We'll leave together.
Could one galaxy class tow another galaxy class?
I would imagine so.
But sir, we can get out.
Let it go.
Let it go, let it go. I can't transport anymore. Let it go, let it go. Worf is fighting the dawn. Riker can scout all he wants. But when they come back, maybe someday O'Brien will get a name.
Whoa, give him a point.
Yeah.
Well done. Surprised how long they went on
What
for.
the hell is going on?
You all right, number one?
I've had it. Let's put all this technology to work, figure out what is going on, and get the hell out of
It's
here.
like, aren't we on a starship or something?
Man,
That would have been a great McCoy line right there.
And Picard just grinned at the camera after Riker went off.
Dun-dun-dun.
That's our Riker.
Existing in a hole in space with no crewable. Now, what is the purpose?
So,
After that,
when watching
a
this,
non-existent Romulan vessel.
I did not believe their reaction to the environment. Like, when I was a kid, and there's like, they were on the mirror bridge looking at each other, and Worf's freaking out, and he sees Riker there, and then he looks to his left at the other bridge, and there's Riker. It's obviously a mirror image. It's like, I mean, you guys can't be that disoriented.
like it would have been weird, but yeah, I mean, like clearly they see all sorts of strange things. I mean,
Captain, it is not in the same sector, but another opening has appeared.
Oh, wait, when did she get on the bridge?
She's got a duty station on the bridge.
Yes, sir.
She said she's going to her duty station.
Oh,
I've lost the signal, sir.
hiding in the back.
What's going on here?
What's going on here?
it's like a whole bunch of people on speed in a broken down car.
Yeah.
We going yet? What's going on?
Well, this is a lot. I feel like the first and second season of Next Gen was a lot like the original series, and the original series can mainly be explained in terms of logic if you imagine everybody on some sort of different kind of drug. Because most of their logic when they're talking to each other makes no sense. Like, they say lines, the other person says lines, decision-making process is really weird, and then they blow it up with antimatter. And so, I'm pretty convinced the Doctor's usually drunk, and then some people are tripping out on LSD, and I don't know. It's when I watch it, that's what I'm looking for.
You're looking for the character motivation there.
Well,
Everything we've been through reminds me of a laboratory experiment, as if something is testing our responses to stimuli.
All right.
And now, yes,
Suggesting,
Pulaski's figured it out.
Yes.
suggesting that we're in some kind of laboratory.
Yes.
Well, how about them out?
This is pretty good conversation and plot development for outside the conference room. Like, if this was season 5, they'd be in the conference room about 3 times now. It's like, alright, we're not going anywhere. There's a ship that showed up. Conference!
Jordy, bring up some diagrams.
Ah, no, 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 no,
Yeah.
no.
So alarmed when I've gone to such trouble.
Now it's interesting. And that's the best you could do. You can make a whole starship completely identical. And
So
you
in
can't
the-
make the
yeah.
interface.
Well,
So
we
it,
need to
yeah,
make a
well, in
face for him.
it's interesting in the digital version of this. The mouth is not a human mouth. They actually digitize the mouth.
No.
So, like,
Really?
Like sharp animal teeth? Or...
No, not like sharp animal teeth. Like, you don't see the lips like that or the teeth. They just made an animated mouth.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
We still have no idea what you represent.
it just looks like a special effect.
Whoa.
Nagila.
You are a
Mulligan.
different expression in the others.
Interesting.
If you notice the eyes shift behind almost like the green mask, it's not painted green.
Right.
You are the bearded one.
Haskell.
Oh,
What are you?
Slugger
Your
has.
construction also differs.
she's got an innie. They all have outies.
You know, somewhere there's like a fan mix of this that
Referring to your
is
gender.
playing Walking on Sunshine and shows Pulaski wiggling around like that.
I'm what we call a
It should be.
I understand. The masculine and the feather.
It is the way in which we propagate our species.
Please demonstrate how this is accomplished.
Riker!
Yeah.
To the holodeck!
Whatever you are, your actions are not welcome.
Let me put up the shield, sir.
Sensors still show nothing out there.
Your life form surprises me more and more. Is it true you also have only a limited existence?
This guy scared me so much when I was a
I
kid.
don't understand it.
How so?
It was just this creepy. I really did not like distorted faces like that. I was just like, you know, like I could open my closet door and it could just be that.
Oh no!
Not Slugger Haskell! Slugger! Slugger, no!
He went out pretty well.
He died the red shirt death.
See, what I think is really weird is that, like, how could you not, if you're studying the universe, like, how could you not understand limited existence of objects?
Yeah.
Things, like, you know, he was like, oh, yes, masculine, feminine, I read your brain library about that, and I get it now, that's cool. But somehow death of objects is new to him?
Yeah.
Been alone by
Because
itself.
you'd be constantly watching things, you know, just objects terminate themselves, wearing down, you know,
Yeah,
because
like
of
solar system?
years wearing down and sun's dying out.
Death, I must amass information on every aspect of it. Every kind of dying.
This is
Experiment
creepy.
shouldn't take more than
When
a third of your crew.
a powerful being says, "Hey, I want to do some experiments.
Yeah.
We'll
On a third of the crew.
we'll only kill some of you. You've got a 33% chance of making it."
Do we get to pick?
Yeah.
Lottery?
Jimmy! Hey Wesley, where are you?
It is obvious that...
And then, again, that's another Voyager episode where they have these phased space shifted doctors running experiments on everybody in the crew, and Janeway, she can't sleep for weeks, she's got a killer headache. They stumble upon it, they reveal everybody, and they're like, well, I'm just going to kill everybody if you were going to kill someone.
That's how boring this episode is, folks. We'd rather talk about Voyager and Next Generation.
Hey, it's conference.
Is there any reason for not believing this?
Are we back in Act
He's-
1?
Man, he looks tired.
All evidence
Yeah.
indicates it is willing and able to do as it proposes.
So anybody going to talk about how lucky we were that Wesley wasn't at the comm station and it was Haskell instead? That was lucky.
Sir, I do not believe there is anything you can do to prevent it.
Yes, there is.
What?
We gotta blow up the ship.
Destroy the Enterprise.
Yeah, I like how the creature can't just stop them from blowing up the ship. You know, like he obviously recreated one, like out of scratch.
Yep. Or to use a Vietnam term,
Standing around.
saving the village by killing it.
Yeah.
Why do I get the feeling that this was not the time to join this ship?
Thank you.
Nobody likes you. Sorry, I needed to speak frankly.
They could have done better with their characters. She had a lot of good stuff.
I liked what they could have done with her, but they didn't utilize her enough.
I really like that there was a throwback in the old
I
show.
like that they, in this era, they need to go to engineering to do this. Whereas at any other time, they could just be walking along and be like, self-destruct code, Riker Omega 3 or Omega 2.
Can you imagine being some low-level engineer, and then you just overhear these two guys?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Sweeping the floor in the next room.
I'm sure that's a question on the Academy entrance exam, is if your captain decides to blow up the ship and you're not given the order to evacuate, what do you do?
Keep mopping that floor. Focus on your work until the bitter end.
You know, I wonder if it's like they get software upgrades so that eventually they could do it from anywhere, or if it's more of a they just don't know the shortcuts yet of the ship because it's so new. Like they're learning how to use it.
Right.
So they know that there's a terminal where you can do it downstairs, so they have to go for that.
Janeway initiated the destruction of Voyager so many. They actually did blow up Voyager several times. That it's like the SF Debris, who also does really good Star Trek reviews, had a section of every review called Janeway Pie because it happened so many times. That was her. That was her code.
Oh,
For getting into stuff. Janeway Pie. Pie being pie. PI.
Our destroying ourselves won't change its mind, Captain.
I kind of like seeing the captain's quarters.
Mm-hmm.
It's neat.
Well, it looks like he has a huge Federation insignia on the floor, too.
Makes sense.
Well, you know, when you're the captain of the ship, you can put whatever you want on the floor. I wish we saw more of the captain's yacht. That would have been neat.
I have a question, sir.
What is death?
What is death?
Well delivered.
Well, Data, why don't you get your cat and I'll show you.
Oh,
Data. You're asking.
that's a good conversation.
It is. He needs a pipe to smoke while he's telling me this thing.
Yeah, I feel like it's a weird question for Data to really get into.
Changing into an indestructible form. Forever unchanging. They believe that the purpose of the entire universe is to then maintain that form in an Earth-like garden which will give delight and pleasure through all eternity. On the other hand, there are those who...
Boy, she's been stone-faced this whole episode.
Yeah.
Which is odd because she's usually the most sensitive to external powers.
Well, I mean, she's supposed to be super stone-faced here, because they're not actually the
Which do you believe, sir?
monster characters.
I believe in nothing. You don't become a captain by believing magical things will happen to you when you die.
Complexity of the universe. Clockwork perfection, it balances this against that. Matter, energy.
I wonder, I should really read into this, but Picard's speeches, I wonder if they had a guy on the writing team like, we need a Picard speech, who wants to write it? Because they're pretty consistent.
What we are goes beyond Euclidean or other practical measuring systems, and that our existence is part of a reality beyond what we understand now as...
It'd be an interesting NPR series where you, it's like a tape on alternative radio where you got Chomsky talking, you got Picard in there talking about whatever.
I agree with her.
Well, that's what's meta about when he says stuff like that their existence goes beyond what they have now. It's like, so they're actors saying these lines and filming it. But they're also playing characters that have a life on TV.
This is very wrong.
This is made 30 years ago. It's being watched and discussed in the future.
Oh, meta.
Yep.
You know that
He brought up some heavy stuff there, talking about the Clockwork Universe and
Commander Data is on the bridge.
So you think that's Livingston's home tank and that Picard just beams the fish to work with him?
Could be.
that would be sweet.
Captain, we are clear. We are out of the void.
Well, hot now.
Yeah, they introduce really neat concepts, but they don't scratch the surface too much. So if you're not paying attention, you'll miss over a lot.
Yeah.
1 minute to auto-destruct.
We are out of the void, sir. You may stop auto-destruct.
I'll be the judge of that.
Pressure. Warp 6, any heading. Now.
Zip, zip.
50 seconds to auto-destruct.
Good choice. Ron Jones has a very subdued score here for everybody.
40 seconds
That
to
woman,
auto-destruct.
that woman in the background, the blonde, is really into her job for only having 40
Right,
more
it's
seconds
like-
to live.
It's like the other extra we saw walking across the background. It's like, where are you going?
Systems confirm we are at Warp 6 on course, sir.
Council Troy.
Captain, it has gone. I no longer feel its presence. 20 seconds to auto-destruct.
Just checking. I mean, we have to go back down to engineering to turn this off, so it's a bit late. Anyway.
Wow, Wesley.
Oh, yeah.
Wesley really had some smoky eye there in
10 seconds
that
to auto-destruct.
in the last scene.
Yeah, he did.
Eye shadow on it.
Well, he makes the same exact face just before they...
Do you concur?
Yes, absolutely. I do indeed concur wholeheartedly.
Auto-destruct.
He's like, really? So Wesley makes the same face when they're about to engage into warp to do the collision course with the cube and
I didn't want to be
Best of Both Worlds. And he's like, oh, thank God we don't have to do that.
You have the
He's
bridge.
got that look of relief.
Brought it back. I'll go back.
See you, folks.
What? He's smiling?
Yeah, that was weird.
What? Data's smiling.
He sure held that bluff to the last second, didn't he, sir?
Yes, Wesley, bluff. Now, I know some warp nacelles that need some exterior cleaning.
You have provided me with much more than I needed.
Honestly, I didn't need any.
That scared me so bad I jumped about 1.5 feet.
What?
When he was on his computer, yeah. Because we thought he got away. And he's...
I have learned all I needed to know.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
Would you like me to share some of my conclusions? Not interested.
Oh, this is where we get the lecture on how bad we are as
Yeah.
people.
It's like, to me it was just like, come hither, little child, and I will tell you what the crocodile has for his supper.
I don't understand this episode. Like, they tried to do something and just didn't go anywhere.
Quick to judge, slow to change. It's amazing you've survived. Be that as it may. As species, we have no common ground. You're too aggressive, too hostile, too militant.
During this
A
period,
lot of commentary on the militancy.
you see that we have at
And
least
the
one
corporate structure of a starship.
curiosity.
The point is well taken.
You did just about blow it up.
Perhaps
Be a procedure.
that is
Yeah.
I guess.
And perhaps we shall meet again.
I want to see more people freak out
It will be out
and running in the
there
corridors like the ship's about to blow, man.
No, I mean, where are you gonna go though?
I wonder how many self-destruct babies there were on the ship.
Ensign put it back
You get the-
9 months later, there's a...
Pornhub releases the statistics of right afterwards, their hits went way up.
Wait, what?
But we didn't do anything, Captain. Didn't we, Mr. Crusher? Didn't we?
Oh, how many mulligans are we giving this?
Well, it didn't bug me as much when I watched... Yep, Comey is just credited as transporter chief. It didn't bug me as much when I watched it on my own last week, but man, this time...
This stunk.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
mulligan.
I have to agree with you there. They definitely mulliganed this one. The ship, it got stuck in space, met a curious, chaotic, want to learn about death space alien that just kind of let him go. And he's like, "Whoa, man, you crossed you went over the line. You want to kill everybody? No. I just want to kill a third." And I was just like, "So I let him go?" I'm just so frustrated by this. I feel like I've wasted my time.
We did have that about 40 seconds total of Worf character development.
Yes,
Yeah.
there was that. The monsters in his calisthenics program. But what would you rate it, David?
On a scale of what?
1 to...
One
I think it's 1 to 5, yeah.
1 to 5 out of all the other next
Do you need some
episodes.
toilet paper for this?
Oh man, I don't know. I'd probably give it. I don't know what I'd compare it to as a 1. Honestly, I'd probably give it a 2 just because I don't want to give it a 1 just because I don't know what I'm comparing it to.
The
What's another 1 episode you got?
that drug dealer episode.
Oh, they're written by the Miami Vice guys. So back in
the
season
game.
1, yeah.
The game, yeah. That's
No, the game is the one with Ashley Judd. That's a good episode.
So it was the Enterprise rolled up on a freighter, and it had a big shipment of drugs, which just looked like beans, and you had a couple of country bumpkins and a couple of like preppy looking
Highfalutin
folks.
folk, yeah.
And they were selling this cure to a plague, and it was actually just getting everybody high. And that was
There's
another
your
thing.
one.
They had that cool lightning effect.
Yeah.
Where they touched people, but
Yeah.
that was about it.
That was pretty bad, yeah.
Crusher caught on fire. That was
Really?
Yeah. She got shot with the phaser, and she caught on fire.
Huh?
I was sure it was her stunt double, but.
The Type .5 phaser. Still going through some.
So what do you think?
I think I'd give it a 2. I don't think it was that bad. Like, it was obviously not a lot happened, but that was the worst thing I could say about it. I mean, like if I was waiting like a week for this to come out and I watched it, I would be a bit sad, you know, if it was the only episode. But now that we can just keep watching, it's kind of like, okay, well. So I give it.
There we go.
Well, thank you for listening to our commentary on where silence has lease. Happily, next time it will be a Data as Sherlock Holmes episode.
Oh, that'll be great.
Something a little bit
Classic.
meatier to chew on. But we will see you then.
Yep, and have a great day!
Why am I interviewing you guys?
So you're the guest.
So Sasha, what is Star Trek
Hi,
Next
I am
Generation?
the guest.
So Sasha, what is Star Trek Next Generation?
Seek us out at Next Generation's First Generation at iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube. Music credits include Electric Car by Poddington Bear. Music heard in this podcast can be found at freemusicarchive.org. Audio engineering by Sasha Shouties. Chief Meme Maker and episode cover credit goes to Matthew Kirshner. Logo and graphic art design credit goes to David Clawwitter. And special thanks to Patrick Delmore for working with other podcasts to make sure the good word gets out.
Do you have a podcast that you think people should be listening to? Send us your promos and we'll play them on the show. If you'd like to email the show, you can email us at nextgenfirstgenpod@gmail.com. I've been Patrick Delmore.
And this is Sasha Shouties. Thank you very much for listening and have a wonderful day.
Good night.